What if Azulon killed Ozai? What if Fire Lord Azulon killed his second son, Ozai? So, when Ursa offers to make a poison so that Ozai can poison Azulon, Azulon somehow manages to hear about the conversation, and Azulon finds out about the assassination plot against him. So Azulon immediately arrests Ozai and Ursa and questions them, and then Azulon would execute Ozai and Ursa. Then Azulon would move on to exterminate Zuko and Azula, because Zuko and Azula are children of Ursa and Ozai, who are traitors because they were plotting to kill the Fire Lord. Now, Azulon would remain the Fire Lord, and he would live for several more years. And General Iroh, Crown Prince, Dragon of the West, he would learn about Ozai, Ursa, Zuko, and Azula's death, and Iroh would be sad because Iroh loved Zuko and Iroh respected Ursa, and Iroh, I'm sure, deep down, probably still cared about Ozai and Azula to an extent. So Iroh would be sad, and Iroh would probably have another epiphany because, the war, Ba Sing Se, killed his son Lu Ten, and now the Fire Lord, his own father, has killed most of the family. So Iroh would do some reflection and maybe turn out to be an even better person than he was in the actual series. So Iroh no longer believes in all the violence and the bloodshed of the war at this point. And he's waiting for when he can take over as Fire Lord so that he can end the war and try to peacefully smooth things out and stop doing all the violence. But I'm not sure that Iroh would necessarily defy Azulon so openly. Now, 5 years later, Azulon would still be the Fire Lord, and Avatar Aang would return. And Sokka and Katara would be traveling with Avatar Aang, and of course Azulon would be furious that Aang has returned and he would want to kill him. But without Zuko chasing Aang, Aang has a much easier time, and it would turn out much easier for Aang. And I'm sure at the end of book 1, because Aang would have never been kidnapped by Zuko and taken into that cave, Aang would still be at the spirit koi pond in the North Pole when he wakes up and comes back from the spirit world. And so Aang would immediately be able to protect both Tui and La, the moon and ocean spirits, and he would probably bond with them sooner, and he would do that whole Koizilla, that big fish thing where he would just wipe out Fire Nation troops, and he would be even stronger because not only would he have the ocean spirit, he'd also have the moon spirit at his disposal. So Aang would just annihilate and decimate the Fire Nation in that fight. Now, Princess Yue would still be alive because Zhao would have never had the chance to kill the moon spirit, so Yue would not have to sacrifice herself to bring the moon spirit back. So Yue is still alive and around and kicking. And so Sokka would probably have some conflicting feelings, whether he likes Yue or whether he likes Suki, and he would have to work that out later. And Commander Zhao would either have been killed, or he might have just escaped or just gone back in shame. And I doubt that Azulon would be very nice to Zhao. I'm sure Zhao will probably be punished by Azulon for failing at the North Pole at the Northern Water Tribe. So I'm sure Zhao would not have a good future at all. The only thing is, Zhao would not end up in the Fog of Lost Souls because Zhao would not have had the chance to kill the Moon Spirit yet, so I doubt the Ocean Spirit would drag him there, but yeah. Now, or maybe the Moon Spirit and the Ocean Spirit might still throw Zhao in the Fog of Lost Souls because he did try to, or he had the intention of killing them, so intent matters, so they might just send him there. Now, in Book 2, of course, Azulon, Fire Lord Azulon, would send his son, Crown Prince Iroh, to capture the Avatar or kill him. And Iroh will be searching for Aang, although Iroh, as I mentioned, would have a kinder heart and he would be a better person than he was even in the actual series. So Iroh might seek out Aang and offer to join him. And Iroh might say to Aang, hey, Avatar, I'm the Crown Prince. And, I believe in what you're doing, and my dad Azulon is sort of crazy, and so he needs to go down, and once you defeat him, I will help you restore balance to the world, something like that. So Iroh might secretly start teaching Aang firebending. Iroh might secretly join Team Avatar, although I'm sure Iroh might try to keep that a little bit private from Azulon because if Azulon knows that Iroh is working with the Avatar, Iroh's going to be a traitor, and Iroh's going to be in danger, and also I'm sure Iroh wouldn't want to hurt his dad's feelings too much. And also Iroh probably keeping Azulon on his good side will be good for later for political purposes when Azulon is defeated. So Aang would be learning waterbending from Katara, earthbending from Toph, and firebending from Azulon. Firebending from Iroh. So Aang's teachers would be Katara, Toph, and Iroh. And Aang would be a lot stronger. Now, I'm sure Azulon would order Iroh to attack Ba Sing Se again, and Iroh will probably comply with that order, although Iroh might coordinate some things with the Earth Kingdom generals, and he would tell them that he's actually on their side, and that he might get them to pretend to surrender so that the Fire Nation can have a false sense of victory. And then maybe they can lure the Fire Nation into a trap, or maybe Iroh would pretend he can't conquer Ba Sing Se, and then he would probably try to stall and buy enough time so that the Earth Kingdom and Team Avatar can get ready for the solar eclipse invasion. So I think during the solar eclipse, Team Avatar and the Earth Kingdom armies would march into the Fire Nation, and they would take down Fire Lord Azulon. And I doubt they would kill him because Aang couldn't even kill Ozai, and I'm sure Azulon being a 100-year-old man, and although he'd be very strong, he is still like an old guy, so I don't think Aang would be comfortable killing an old guy necessarily, especially an old guy who doesn't have firebending because of a solar eclipse. So Azulon will be taken down, and the Fire Nation will be defeated, and Iroh will become the new Fire Lord, and maybe Azulon goes back to jail, or maybe Azulon goes into rehabilitation. It depends on how Iroh wants to treat Azulon, and I'm sure Iroh might try to make Azulon a better person and help him, because in this scenario, Zuko is long dead. So maybe Iroh makes Azulon his pet project instead, and maybe Iroh works on Azulon and works on saving him instead. So I think it would have a happy ending and all would be well. So basically, if Azulon killed Ozai, then Azulon would stay the Fire Lord, and Azulon would end up fighting Aang in the end, and Iroh would already be on Aang's side and stuff like that. And then basically, so things would turn out well if Azulon had killed Ozai, although maybe not so well because Azulon would have also killed Zuko.